Before starting this video, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for the future updates.
Welcome to my YouTube channel. The penultimate episode of Season 2 of House of the Dragon airs on Sunday night. There's only one more episode to go before we have to endure an excruciatingly lengthy wait as they prepare Season 3. At this point, they will be using Dragonflame for cooking. There are now too many dragons to spare, so they will all come to roost, battle, and eventually perish. We're witnessing the revelation of the reason why there were no dragons at the beginning of Game of Thrones. It was called the Dance of the Dragons. What a sad little dance. As you may have noticed from reading my recaps of Season 2, I became close to my very own dragon, Rhaelix, a few weeks ago. You can find my recaps of last week's and this week's featuring our red and black winged worm by googling Rhaelix House of the Dragon. It was an exquisite event. I knew exactly why the dragon had landed outside my office, which is a garden shed in my backyard. A writer was required to record and document all of these Westerosi escapades and exchanges. All the dragons will eventually perish, but Rhaelix will endure long after even Drogon is forgotten by humans, as Rhaelix is a storyteller rather than a participant in the stories. Any skilled writer would tell you that's a safer bet. We witnessed Adam of Hull being pursued by Seasmoke last week. Rhaenyra confronts Adam in the opening scene of this Sunday show and finds out that he just wants to hug people and has no bloody idea what's going on. Or a similar idea. He is eager to help her, and even more so when he thinks that his father, Corlys Velaryon, who has been unfaithful to him, would finally accept him. Similarly, Alan of Hull, his brother, tells his father with pride, "I am of salt and sea, I yearn for nothing more," but all he gets in return is a half-hearted nod. Daddy doesn't do much better for Adam. Well done, the sea snake says sarcastically. Rhaenyra's son Jacaerys is extremely upset about the misbegotten offspring of houses Targaryen and Velaryon, whom she refers to as her army of bastards. You see, he is well aware of the fact that he is a bastard himself. The color of the skin is the issue. Since bastard dragon riders pose a threat to him as a dragon rider, his only true claim to legitimacy stems from the fact that his father is a strong rather than a Velaryon. Though empathetic, Rhaenyra is powerless. Ultimately, the rest of the dragon seeds find their way to Dragonstone, where Vermithor and Silverwang are waiting, due to the muttering of Rhaenyra's overqualified and underpaid handmaiden. Furthermore, fire. Lots of flames. Hugh gets up and makes his audacious claim, but Vermithor kills a lot of the would-be riders. Ulf the White, meanwhile, adopts a very different strategy. Hugh may be bold and tough, but Ulf is a coward, as shown by his unwillingness to visit Dragonstone in the first place, which is primarily due to peer pressure. However, when Ulf flees from Vermithor's death cavern, he stumbles into his own pile of dragon dung and falls into Silverwing's tender embrace. Before long, Ulf is speeding above King's Landing. In any event, although my connecting with the she-dragon was quite easy, the Dragon Seeds experience in tonight's dramatic episode was less fortunate. Even if Ulf the White and Hugh Hammer ultimately prevailed, for better or worse, something is about to change. This week's other major plot revolves around that gloomy castle we name Harrenhal. Rhaelix is sick of this plot, and even the promise of another Viserys Eye scenario won't make her change her mind. As much as I'd like to go through another hallucination nightmare. After all, a dragon's mind—
Your Grace, the dragon Seasmoke has been sighted flying over Spicetown.
Rarely changes, and not even Paddy Considine's exquisite performance can convince her to change her mind. She seems to believe that everything should have been resolved last week. That's a viewpoint that I cannot dispute. Rhaelix has decided to visit the local hot springs. Harrenhal really has the nicest hot springs in Westeros, so we'll just have to wing it. Up until now, Daemon's plan to bring the Riverlands together has been somewhat of a bust. Fortunately, Oscar Tully, the grandson of the late Grover Tully, has taken over. Yes, this is a Sesame Street parody, courtesy of George R.R. Martin, who also included an Elmo Tully and a Bert and Ernie duet in Fire and Blood. When we initially saw Oscar, he came across as a little shy, but now he's all brass balls, essentially telling the Riverlords that even if he doesn't like Daemon, the jerk, his grandpa did take an oath, And Riverlanders are not betraying their word, even though Demon is a big jerk with a stupid jerk face. Well done, young Oscar. You've pleasantly surprised me. You came extremely close to winning this week's episode MVP award. Near but not quite a cigar. Sir Simon Strong wins that one firecracker line award once more. In what may be the funniest scene in the entire show, the elderly cast member gives Demon a heartfelt, "oh dear" expression when Oscar sentences Lord Blackwater to death and informs him that it is his responsibility to administer justice. Demon obliges, simultaneously impressed and irritated by the young Oscar. Take his head off. Oh no. Tower Blues. Teen Green isn't having the greatest time in the meantime. Their poor fortifications at King's Landing give ships transporting Rhaenyra's spies free access to Blackwater Bay. Even though Aemond has issued an order closing the city to outsiders, the local Dragonseeds have little trouble leaving by ship. To put it mildly, Larys Strong, the clubfoot, the master of whisperers, is not your typical Varys. When Ulf finally takes his joyride over the city, Aemond is compelled to ride out of it in order to find Hagar. He is also forced to flee when he reaches Dragonstone, where a large number of other dragons and an enraged dragon queen await. Nothing in King's Landing goes as planned. The impoverished young king, Aegon, is now on his feet and feels about as happy about it as Hank did in Breaking Bad. It turns out that these recuperation attempts are being driven by Larys, in spite of his false pretenses. I'm not sure why he would do this, but I can't trust Larys to the extent that Rhaelix could, and if she felt like it, she could throw him very far. Since only Hagar is defending the Red Keep and Rhaenyra has more than 6 dragons, it might be an excellent moment to attack it as well. Daeron, the youngest son of a Alicent that we have yet to meet, is the one bright point in the otherwise gloomy day for Teen Green. Tessarion, his dragon, and he have taken to the skies. Though the Greens are vastly outnumbered in the skies despite having superior armies, Tessarion could tip the scales once more. Aside from the mutilated and disfigured Aegon, Alicent is arguably the least happy of all of these individuals. With only a single knight serving as her guard, she departs from the city and goes off to enjoy leisurely walks through the forest and peaceful little swims in the lake. It's a strange echo of Rhaenyra's own flight during her father's quest, when she was accompanied only by a young Sir Criston Cole. I do feel bad for Alicent since she was only a little child when Otto Hightower, her father, cruelly used her as a pawn in his cruel game of Westerosi chess. As with Alicent, your pawn becomes a queen if it is moved to the other side of the board. But now her son and his counselors have abandoned her. She informs her knight that she's not sure if she would ever go back to the city when he inquires about her plans. And why ought she to? Although her children are present, her affection for them resembles that of her children or Viserys' love for any of them, like the way one may love a dazzling star, cold and remote. Look, there's Rhaelix, taking a hot spring bath in the same forest that Alicent and her confused Kingsguard are stumbling through. It's a gorgeous, mossy location. It's the kind of location one might go to forget about ancient betrayals, conflict, carnage, and maimed sons. Here, we'll have a little nap before we take off. The earth will quake as marching hosts fly green and black banners, and the air will soon tremor with the thumping of dragons' wings. Winter will arrive. Or something like. I'll include a section titled Scattered Thoughts later. For the time being, Alicent and I will be lounging in this beautiful hot spring together, a fate I can accept, I promise. There's still one episode left, my love. How do you feel about Season 2 thus far?
If you're hungry for more juicy content, check out our playlist for other fantastic series breakdowns and movie analyses. And as always,
Hit that subscribe button before you go.
may the force be with you, fellow.
Thanks for watching.